but I'm actually older.
Okay.
My face is super tight.
Sure.
Yeah,
sure.
and it's natural.
Mm-hmm.
And
you look like, remember I sent you the picture? What? You look just like Lee Harvey Oswald.
Yeah, that was.
And he was young when he got killed.
I know, dude.
Yeah,
Thanks
so
a
you
lot.
still look like him.
Yeah.
Very young.
Yeah. He had a strong jaw. A lot of people don't realize how strong Oswald's jaw.
Did he?
Yeah.
Tight haircut.
I don't know if
Depends
he
on
did
the
or
angle.
not. He had a soft chin. His chin went in a little bit. Put it this way. He cannot change a pillowcase.
Guys, welcome to Off Limits. It's a groundbreaking podcast called Off Limits because most of what I talk about here is off limits.
That's
and
cool. That's very clever.
So groundbreaking.
It is groundbreaking, and please enjoy this is real wood. So a lot of people, there's been a lot of questions from the fans, and yeah, it's real wood. It's actually old growth redwood.
That looks like plywood.
Nope, we felled a tree that was almost 1,000 years old, and they were
The
like,
best
that seems
paneling
like,
I've ever seen.
Yeah. So
That's not flooring?
hey, bro,
Yep.
be cool.
I was just
You gotta
asking.
be cool
this place
because-
is beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah, very natural.
Hey.
A lot of natural colors.
Fresh air with
Yeah.
Callen.
Yeah, a lot of fresh air.
Yeah.
Mike Young, Jason Collings, two of the funniest people that I know.
You've ever met.
Great comics. We were talking about something before we started that I
Yeah,
was...
you've been doing my bit for a year.
Oh, yeah, I wanted to apologize. I'm doing... This is the bit I was
By the way,
doing.
I didn't even know.
What? This is literally my bit, okay? I'd be like, I don't do cocaine anymore. I did cocaine, and I was literally woke up. I was coming up with ideas for businesses. I was like, looked at my friend. I was like, let's open a candle shop. Which is, I think, word for word your joke. Wait, hold on. You tell me what it is. But that's my joke, and I go, we'll open a candle shop. But wait, we'll sell huge candles, like massive ones, because if you own a castle, where are you going to go to get candles? And it's funny. People like it.
For sure. And
Now-
then you ended it on that super physicality.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's
Ta-da!
what- so crushing it for, I probably did that bit for at least 7-8 months.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Go ahead. You don't owe me
I had a
anything.
dream, and I go, because Mike and I used to do the road together, and I go, I think, Mike, I saw you doing the bit, and I go, Mike, there's a bit about cocaine and candles.
Yeah, coke. Yeah.
What is the joke?
You took two of my bits and you combined them. And they're in the same section. But I'm not even mad. I think Callen's such a great performer. Go ahead.
Yo, I'd be
Let's call it
pissed.
I stole it.
let's call it a tribute.
Word for word. If I had recorded that, it would have been so bad. People would have been like, look at this scumbag, which is why you can't, if you have funny friends, don't watch them too much.
No. There's no such thing as
it's
a
a
cover
great bit.
comic. There's cover bands, but not cover comic. Well, there is now, apparently.
Yeah, no,
That's
sir.
pretty cool.
No,
My,
please.
my
dedication.
bit started out with, you ever talk to somebody on cocaine? They always want to start a company with you,
Oh, God.
right?
Great joke.
Yeah, then we start rolling into they start a company. Then it ends up becoming like commercial real estate, and then I transition into let's start a candle company. So,
Well,
listen, Bryan.
that's your joke, bro.
There's
Yeah.
a chance
That's
you
your
didn't
joke.
take it.
You know what? Take
What?
the castle with the big candle.
Can I have
That's
the
yours.
castle?
Yeah, you can have the castle.
Thank
joke.
you,
Nice.
because I like that addition.
It's a good addition.
So-
It's a great addition.
I was just working on
How
an
did you
addition
find
for-
out he was doing it? Or did you tell
No,
him?
called me.
Oh, okay. It wasn't on a special
I
or
probably
anything?
saw that bit. I mean, back in the day,
45 times in a row.
times.
Yeah.
And so for
one of my
me,
top
I was
bits.
like, it's one of your top bits.
I'm known for it.
One of my good friends' top bits. I'm doing and getting great laughs.
Damn it.
And it was a straight up. I mean, there's no way to hide that. My subconsciously stole that, which means subconsciously I'm a thief and a bad guy.
Well,
I knew it.
yeah.
I still
Is that why you
came in
guys stopped working
traffic.
together?
Still came. In
So it
traffic.
wasn't on TV or anything like that. It was just on the road.
No, just on the road.
Imagine if you saw it.
By the way,
on-
what a great friend. I love that you called me.
You know who-
Mike, I got a question.
Knowing
You
the answer.
ever do a bit about cocaine and starting a business and candles? I go, yeah, for like the last 12 years I've been doing that.
We were together.
It's one of my hitters. It's one of my bangers. It's on my special. It's everywhere.
Oh, well, I got a tag
My
for
opener
you.
and my
You have a special out now, right?
Yeah, it's on Amazon.
What's it called?
It's called It's Not Me, It's You, which another thing. I didn't,
Amazon people like, because I put mine on there and people,
they like it?
it's hard for people to watch. So I'm glad you said it because otherwise it's hard. There's something about Amazon unless the algorithm is pushing it there.
Right. I have to do all the work.
It kind of disappears.
Yeah. But speaking of not knowing each other, after I released it, I Googled it because I'm vain.
Yeah.
George Lopez has a special called It's Not Me, It's You.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, wait, isn't Sebastian's special called like? Oh no, his is called.
His is
It Ain't
called
Right.
Candle Shops and Cocaine.
Yeah, candle shops and cocaine.
I have a bit about being on the airplane and putting the seat upright and up down, and it was my closer. It was killing
Ellen DeGeneres.
Ellen fucking DeGeneres from like the early 90s.
Killed it too, yeah.
But it was almost word for word, and I was like, God damn it! And at the time, I'm on the road with Russell Peters, and he just wouldn't let it go the whole time. He goes, I liked it better when Ellen did it.
I mean, look, you don't own a concept, but when
It's
you start to
like-minded
get down,
thinking.
yeah, but when you get down to the lyrics,
Oh man,
and you're taking the
Yeah.
actual chorus,
So I
it might be
recently
stealing.
went through my hour. I'm looking to shoot my hour soon, and I went through it all, and I was like, I just took out all the things that felt convenient and jokey, and I tried to stick to sort of like sort of a theme, a philosophical theme almost.
Callen.
Like, you know what I mean? The
yeah,
idea.
A through
red
story.
wine.
Well, but yeah, the idea might be like the joke would be if I'm going to write, if I ever wrote a book on nutrition, it'd be one page and it would just say, if it tastes good, it's probably bad for you, so spit it out. That's it.
Boom.
And then here's
Bestseller.
my self-help book. It's one page. If it's easy, it ain't real. The bottom line, if it's fucking easy to get to, it's not worth it.
Sounds like you took that from James Clear, the Atomic Habit writer.
I never read it, but it's in my queue.
You're gonna love it.
Yeah.
What is this?
But it's true.
Atomic Habits.
It's
Great
true.
book.
I want to read it. I've heard that a
Just
lot.
how to create great habits.
stopped
But
reading
you
when I
already do
started
that,
doing
Brian.
stand-up.
Yeah.
You taught me how to deadlift.
Yeah, dude.
First time we ever went on the road, Callen's like, the only exercise you need for your body is deadlift.
Brian Callen giving you advice.
By the way, I'm not even kidding.
Well, you're in great
For
shape for
16
70.
years, all I've been doing is deadlifting. That's all
it.
I do.
That's it.
I just
Well, they
lift things
say
off the
don't
ground.
stretch your back, strengthen it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Callen,
Mobility.
You ever feel his
Mobility,
back?
baby.
Yeah, that's
I've
all I
not
do. I
felt
do
his
back.
strengthening
But it's not.
exercise. Oh, I'm a baboon, bro. You tussle with me, bro. I'm keeping you
You're
fucking
like a can of
extra
Pringles.
busy.
How
Extra
about
busy.
Right. How about I remember you before I even knew you well. I knew you a little bit at the Comedy Store. Do you remember when you tackled a dude in the main room and the police were after him? He was passing fake money.
Yes, this is
They
a-
were chasing him. through the main-
Vigilante
and This is
Callen.
when I knew Callen was like a tough guy. Callen literally pulled like a police move.
Yeah, but I love that you're saying this.
I remember it clear
Where's
as
my
day.
camera? Now, that's the story. Let's get into what really happened. Let's get into what really happened with Bryan Callen. I go back into the main room of the Comedy Store, which is a really big room. And I don't know why I was back there. I think I'd left something there, and maybe in the green room or something. And I went back into the green room, and all of a sudden there's a large man. Think of a big white guy from Nebraska, but like a bouncer with just one of those dudes. Clearly a linebacker. Clearly, if there's a D1 linebacker in the house,
Yeah.
that's the guy, right?
Yes.
Fucking ballet linebacker.
Yeah.
Kind of guy who doesn't get cold in the winter.
No.
The guy kind of guy who plays football with when it's 30 below and he's got short sleeves.
Yeah.
And he's just like,
The original Revenant.
a lion, a fucking, correct. He's a bear. Don't fight him in an elevator. I don't give a fuck who you are. You're in big trouble,
Yeah,
right?
choke.
Wrists, the whole thing.
Yeah.
The guy I've always wanted to be.
Yeah.
The kind of guy who gets a G-Shock watch.
Yeah.
And it just looks great on his impossible forearm.
Jocko Willenick.
Thank you,
Yes.
Jocko Willick. That kind of thing. Hey, I bought a Rolex, but I can't find. Do you guys have extra links? You got extra links for my crazy Nebraska milk drinking wrists? That kind of guy, right? So that's what. And I remember all of a sudden I noticed he's right next to me, and I just kind of appeared out of nowhere, and I look at him and I'm like, big guy. And before I can even say anything, I see a rather stout, rather thick black gentleman skipping. He's skipping, which is very weird to see. Just kind of skipping like this.
Skipping as an adult is kind of weird.
Through the main room towards us.
Yeah.
And I go, that's an odd thing. Now, the story is Bryan tackled the guy, held him down.
I know what I saw.
Here's what the real story is about it. Yeah, I know what you saw because I'm going to tell you why you believe this. The guy goes, what's up, bro? And the guy goes, hey. And he stops like kind of like that. And out of nowhere, this dude just body tackles him, just like a football player. Just hits him, picks him up, throws him on the ground, and he goes, you're under arrest. The guy turns around. The guy goes, what that? And he's big. The black guy's big. And this guy's having trouble.
Yeah.
And I see this, and I'm like, I remember hearing the thud of two giant men, 500 pounds of meat at least, just hitting.
Yeah.
And the gazelle over here who's watching the two bears fight, I go, but remember, guys, I do jiu-jitsu sometimes.
Kind of.
Right? Yeah. I kind of do a
Deadlifts
little,
100
I do a little
Jiu-jitsu
boxing on the weekends. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
you play tennis? I do. You know, on Thursdays, I meet with friends. That's
Right.
me. Okay? Now, I realized that the gentleman who is clearly a bouncer, this guy was passing counterfeit hundreds at the
patio.
Yeah, what's it called? The Western bar that was near the Comedy Store.
Saddle Ranch.
Saddle
Ranch. Right.
So he was passing $100. He was passing $100.
He came across the street.
He's passing $100
fakes.
Counterfeit. Yeah. So this bouncer followed him. I guess this bouncer was deputized. So he grabbed him, threw him around. He's putting cuffs on him, but he can't get him. And now he doesn't have cuffs. This is why I say that. He's having trouble, and I get on the guy, and I go, "Put your fucking hands behind your back." And the bouncer thinks that I am fucking a cop.
Yeah.
So he gets off immediately.
Oh shit.
So now I'm on top of a fucking raft. This guy may as well be a raft. Little old me. And I remember trying to grab his wrists. They were so thick. And I'm kind of holding his wrist awkwardly, and I don't know what to do. I get doubled. Wrestling, you can chicken wing.
Yeah.
He's so big and strong.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of on him, and I'm like, and I remember thinking, this guy has got to be 100 pounds heavier than me, and he's not fat. He's just way stronger.
Thick
and I'm
beef.
holding him, but I'm kind of like, stay there. And he's going, he said something like, oh my God, listen, I'm not doing anything. And I go, just fucking stay there. And now the dude, the bouncer, looks at me and goes, oh shit, Mad TV. Or something like that. He recognizes me. And I'm like,
and you were so happy.
Now the dude, he goes like this. He goes, oh shit, like that, something like that. You know, for the story, he's like, oh, I'm a fan, but he didn't say that. But he was like, oh man. So now it's very awkward. And I look at the guy. I go, I don't know if you want me to hold him. And the guy comes back on and holds him. Cops come. I leave because I don't want to get sued.
Right.
And then the next day, I'm like, dude, I heard you tackled some dude and did jujitsu on him. And I was like, huh, did you?
Is that what you heard?
You know what? It happened quickly. I don't remember. I just reacted.
The way I saw it, I didn't even remember the other guy that got him down first. I just remember.
You saw me on top of him.
I saw Callen pounce from behind, tackle this dude, throw a move, get his hands behind his back, and I'm like, Callen knows some police shit. Yeah, I do. Like, Callen was like a cop.
Yes, I was.
And I was like, I know he talks about jujitsu, but he's fucking brave.
How long ago was this?
We'll cut this part of the podcast out so we can keep the rumor going because I love it.
How long ago was this?
Dude,
18 years ago?
You know what?
16 years
ago? That's how we're all talking now. Because I know I look way younger than these guys, but I'm actually older. My face is super tight.
Sure.
Yeah,
sure.
And it's natural. Mm-hmm. And
you look like, remember I sent you the picture? What? You look just like Lee Harvey Oswald.
Yeah, that was fucked up.
And he was young when he got killed.
I know, dude.
Yeah, so you still look like him.
Yeah.
Very young.
Yeah. He had a strong jaw. A lot of people don't realize how strong Oswald's jaw.
Did he?
Yeah.
Tight haircut.
I don't know if he did
angle.
He had a soft chin. His chin went in a little bit. Put it this way. He cannot change a pillowcase.
I just remember being stunned, you know what I mean, at Callen's.
I
had
love
no
that.
fear.
But when you first started the story,
shit.
I thought you were on stage.
Yeah.
You weren't?
No.
Oh, okay.
I did get into.
I wanted to look back.
I did actually get into a thing with a guy who threatened Chris, and I was going to fight that guy, and he knew. I mean,
while on stage?
He was built. No, yeah, Chris was on stage, and he kept heckling, but he was doing this thing, and he was bullying people. And I was sitting on the wall as you go to the area where we hang out outside, and I was sitting on the wall, and I was already steamed and ready to fight. This guy was built like a linebacker, but I can do it. I keep you busy a little bit.
Yeah, you
back
keep
then. I'm gonna fight
for sure.
And I'm not afraid of you. If you played football, I'm not afraid of you. If you don't know how to fight, I'm not afraid. Fuck off.
No.
And especially if you're gonna fuck with my friends. And he was being a bully and weird. And I was sitting on the wall, and I said to, I can't remember who it was. I said, if he does something to Chris, I'm gonna fucking fight that guy. And he went like that to Chris. And Chris, you could do it. You could kill Chris's family. He'd be like, dude, seriously. Like, he can't. He's not a fighter in any way.
Oh, man.
But I think he can fight.
Chris can?
Yeah. What Chris are we talking about?
The Leah?
Yeah.
Listen,
He's trained. He's trained.
You could wake me up.
If I was he's a great singer.
He's a great singer. If I was in a coma and you wake me up 10 years later and I can't move my body,
You can
put
still
all your
beat
money
Chris
on
up?
me. Put all your money on me.
Really?
Yeah. But
Another guy did
fighting's
karate
in
and
the heart.
jiu-jitsu and
it's
shit.
pronounced karate first of all.
Karate and jiu-jitsu.
Jiu-jitsu.
Jiu-jitsu de Brasil. And, but yeah, he's.
No, I
almost had that same
literally called
situation
this
with
guy.
Chris.
I was doing this to him. I was like,
You're like,
this is all I wanna
please,
fucking
let's
do.
go.
Now, when the guy
Right.
did that to Chris, did Chris flinch?
Chris actually went like this.
He
Chris went, oh, dude. Like, he was like, what are you doing? Like, that's Chris.
He's too
Like,
busy for anything.
I need to take a nap, dude. I have to go to bed. Like, I'm going to be waking up at 1. Like, Chris could give a fuck.
Comedy's dangerous.
It
I
is,
got
man.
so mad. And he looked at me, he goes, UFC? And I go, no. I'm just going to, and he goes, he said something, what's your name? I go, fuck you is my name. And then there was a dude next to him, and I was going to fight. I thought it was his friend. And he was a big guy, and I go, and you see that guy? All I see is butter, and I'm a fucking knife. So that's how angry I was. I had a whole people.
So articulate.
I know. I go, I'm a knife.
While
and you're butter.
angry.
So if you want me, I'll fight you too now. I want you, and I want you. And then it turns out he was a comic who was also kind of a bouncer, a really nice guy. I felt terrible. But when I see red like that,
I'm with you.
I'm red.
I'm so inarticulate when I get angry.
When you get angry, that's amazing that you had the wherewithal to be like, you're butter and I'm a
'cause
knife.
shit
I'd have been
slow-
like, you're a
shit
knife
slow-
and I'm going to fucking spread you.
But it's
I
not
don't
because
know
I'm
what I
tough.
was-
It's like shit slows down, and I'm willing to take the beating for principle. I'm
Good for
willing to
you.
go
Tough.
deep and die for the principle of it. Not that I'm brave. I think sometimes you get. If I have this feel, I hate bullies.
Yeah.
I hate injustice. I get crazy.
Yeah, you're a superhero.
I can't. I get so angry,
Yeah.
and I am a superhero.
You are.
Where's my camera?
Yo,
again?
bullies got canceled. They shouldn't have canceled bullies. Bullies were very essential to my upbringing. Bullies taught me a lot, how to run, when to shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? And now
You're a
they're
runner?
oh yeah.
If a bully came at
No,
you, you ran.
I'd hit and run.
He had a martial arts school.
I had 7.
No, I know that. I know that.
Yeah,
But
man.
I'm saying when you're a kid getting
It was
bullied,
the
you're
art
either
of-
a freeze up person or you're a run. I was freeze up and take a beating.
Well,
I was terrified
bullied.
Jew in a white
Yo.
trash neighborhood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, I froze. I got my ass beat 8 days straight. You know what I mean?
In
Until
Detroit,
one
where it's
day,
freezing.
my dad
Oh,
beat
that
up the
sucks.
bully.
You're a working
Wait.
class blue collar
Your
Jewish
dad
guy.
beat
though.
the bully up?
Bro, there was a
amazing.
17-year-old fat
brother's a fucking-
redneck country bully, like the type, like blow off dynamite in the street type of guy.
Mm.
I was in the outsiders type neighborhood, the first tax bracket we were in.
Yeah.
And we were the only Jewish family on the block. And I'd be riding my little bike, 8, 9 years old, and the fucking rednecks would come over and bam, slap me off my bike, stomp me
you were
out.
Jewish.
A lot of.
Yeah, I go in the house crying every day. And one day I come in the house crying. This dude's like 16, 17. He's big. I come in the house crying again for like the 10th time. My dad's like, what the fuck did I raise? And all of a sudden, my dad doesn't say shit. He runs past me. He doesn't say anything. I look out. All I see is my dad just throwing boom, 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 whooping this kid's ass all the way to his house across the street, into his house.
Wow.
No joke. And I know I didn't make this up, but by Monday there was like a for sale sign on their house.
Really?
They had to move.
Well,
Wow.
you were raised tough, and you're not unathletic. You can box.
Oh, yeah, bro.
You're one of the. If I had to choose comics, I got you on my
Bro,
side.
I started boxing at 11
No,
years
no,
old.
you're
I got
athletic.
beat up to 10.
Well, that's the reason why, right?
Oh, yeah,
See, that's
bro.
why I got into
His
martial
brother's
arts.
crazy athletic.
My brother was a
Dude, have you seen
Division
that?
1 football player.
Oh yeah.
There's a viral video out right now of a dad body slamming a kid that was bullying his kid on a playground. Like he literally walks
Yeah.
up, picks this kid up,
How old's the
and
kid?
like
Yo,
8.
this
that's
no,
little.
But this kid, I don't want to make it. But this wasn't a 10-year-old bullying me. This was a 17-year-old
yeah.
grown man in overalls. You know what I mean? Who blew off quarter sticks of dynamite to torture people in the neighborhood on a regular basis. He tortured everybody. So my dad was basically a little smaller than this dude, but my dad just blue collar whooped his
bullies,
ass.
man. Can't
and then
cancel
they had to
them, though.
move.
Can't cancel them though.
But you did
then I
martial
started-
arts.
We need
You had
bullies.
martial arts schools. I feel like
Yeah, well, I got into it at 12 because I was being bullied, but I fought back. I wasn't like, but I was fighting so much and never winning.
Really?
Yeah.
Your brother's the twin who's
The
looks
thing
like-
is, when we were younger, he was very like, he wouldn't fight. And so people, like one day he
He's
comes in the
thick.
house. Oh man. And my brother's way more trained than I am. He comes in the house one day and he's bleeding and his bike is gone. And he goes, the kids jumped me and took my bike. And
So
I was
Muhammad
like,
Ali
I'll be
became the
back.
champ.
And I went out and I found the 5 kids and I got my ass kicked, but I got the bike back. It was that kind of thing.
yeah.
Then my mom, the we lived in this apartment in Long Beach, California, where it was back before they could.
Long Beach, tough area.
Yeah, but there was a time where in Long Beach where they were allowed to discriminate against families with kids. Like there were adult-only apartment complexes.
Oh, wow.
So we lived in the one apartment that allowed children that my parents could afford.
Just a bunch of swingers.
Kids were like dogs back then.
Yeah. Oh,
you
dude.
can't have
Seen but not heard. It was a whole different time. And the kid, our bully happened to be the apartment manager's kid.
Of course.
And we're like, fuck. And this kid picked on my brother every day. So one day my mom, not my dad, my mom said, you know what? Lay him out. Knock him out, and he'll never bother you again. And she looked out the window one day, and the kid was in my brother's face, and she said before she could even blink, my brother's hand was back here, and the kid ended up level in the air and boom, on the ground. And we ended up almost getting evicted from that.
Yeah, that's the kind of family I grew up in.
Yeah.
A grandpa, knock him out, don't let him up, uncles, boxers, rough bar owners.
Yeah.
My grandpa owned the Purple Pussycat. It was called the Purple Pussycat in Detroit.
Now, what
Hookers,
sort of
police.
establishment is this?
This was Frankie Valli would come sing.
No.
Like shit
Hey,
like that.
hold on. It was jazz, bro.
It was
Purple
jazz era.
Pussycat.
Yeah, boy, that's a.
It was the Purple Pussycat Lounge.
I mean, that is a.
Strippers?
No, but like, maybe some escorts here and there,
Yeah.
police, one of those type of places that you see.
Detroit. Old school Detroit.
Old school underworld Detroit shit was going on. You know what I mean?
And you were in Detroit. You weren't one of these guys that
No.
lived in Detroit.
My mom and dad were Detroit, and then they moved to the suburbs, Southfield. You've heard of 8 Mile. So Southfield is like the first city coming out of Detroit.
Right.
So, when white flight kind of happened in Detroit, that was our neighborhood, but it was like a super diverse community. Black, white, Arab, but Middle Eastern, punk, rock. It was a wild public school upbringing.
That's how Long Beach
Breakdancing over here,
Oh,
fighting
yeah.
over here,
yeah.
goth over here, burnouts.
Yep.
Jock.
That was.
It
People
the
don't realize
best way
that
to
was.
grow
I don't
up.
know if it's still like that, but that was 100% public school would look like a prison yard with different gangs.
Totally
like break
different
dancers,
gangs.
goth
Oh.
kids,
Yeah.
stoners over here,
Very,
jocks.
very high, black, thick gates around the campus. It
Oh,
was
yeah.
a prison. Yeah.
yeah.
Bro, we had riots. We had a couple of riots in our high school. And my mom was a public school teacher for 25 years. She taught special ed. Special ed back then was like, you weren't just like special ed. You were like a criminal. You know what I mean? You're a
We had
girl
riots
who's
every
pregnant.
week where I went.
This girl, I never forgot one time. This girl, my girlfriend's sister, they were going to school in Florida, and there was white on black tension in those schools because
Really?
yeah, because the white kids in Florida at that time. See, you and I, we all are old enough to remember. Like people talk about racism today.
Yeah.
You don't know racism.
yeah,
Did you
shit.
have relatives from Brooklyn, etc.? Did you grow up in the 70s and the 80s?
Yeah.
You got no idea. Did you ever spend any time in just not even the South? Spend time in fucking Maryland.
Were your teachers using the N-word regularly?
For real, for real, like we've come so far in.
Oh my God.
in-
20 years,
When
right.
I was in high school, my friends' parents and grandparents were clans folk. I remember being just appalled at it and stuff like that. And I never forgot this girl. She was hot. My girlfriend's sister, hot. I was fucking prepubescent, still had a huge dick, but still. And I know, and it doesn't matter. But
Prepubescent.
I mean, if it doesn't matter, why bring it up?
I know it's just because people. Because
I get it.
the-
People are
the-
wondering.
the
Every
fans-
episode.
'cause the
People
fans
are
know, the
wondering.
fans,
You're
they
right,
were
you're
wondering.
right.
And I remember she said, she said, yeah, the black guys and the white guys fought, the white football players, and they were fighting these black guys. And then I said, well, who won? And she goes, the black guys. And she was this white girl. She goes, the black guys. And I go, and they're so strong. And she goes, and I go, what do you mean? She goes, one of them just put their hand on top of the wall and he just touched his hand and the rest of his body just flew over it. And it was the first time I realized, I was like, this white girl loves black dudes.
And
I was
never
like,
been around them.
You will be married to a black guy.
She is
So
married to one right
It was
now, for sure.
great. Correct. I was loving it.
Oh, that's
I was
so
like, one for the fucking black guys. No wonder these white guys were all threatened.
I think that's the best way to grow up for society, to learn how to act in society is
around
in a
people.
diverse, be around
Yes.
people.
Where did you grow up?
Public school.
I grew up. I was schooled, of course, in Eton, in London. No, I grew up all over the world. I didn't move this.
So there
country
wasn't
till I
any,
was
like-
14.
yeah, okay.
No, I went to boarding school.
Callen is a prince.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So I was in
Callen's a prince.
I was in Saudi Arabia.
explains so
Remember, I
much.
was Philippines, India, Greece, Lebanon, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia. 14
say
years
Pakistan?
old. Yes, Pakistan.
okay.
14 years.
This is unbelievable.
It's near Afghanistan. And I was 14. I have to go. The schools in Saudi Arabia, if you're American
Were you a
or an
military
expat.
brat?
banking and military. And but
I mean,
I know.
The banking and the
Callen's got
banking.
a trust fund with $74 million in it. Nobody's ever going to know. It doesn't even matter.
Well, I'm going to tell you
Can't
that
wait to
too.
meet
I
you.
always thought I was rich, but my dad was a banker, but he's a bureaucrat. Like I make more money,
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, but I'm saying,
Give Dad
but
some
yes, but I grew up without worrying about money.
Yeah.
And
what
I was
was that like?
Yeah, I never struggled. Like
I
you
just
guys
see
are like
baguettes.
I'm
we had-
still struggling.
Yeah, we had
You
TV
had
dinners. I was like,
baguettes?
TV dinners, please. Where's my chef?
Oh, wow.
It wasn't that bad. But
Callen
I mean,
was drinking tea.
Did you have a
at night.
driver?
so in Saudi Arabia, so back then, if you worked for a multinational corporation, like a bank, you were given because women couldn't drive. So women couldn't drive in Saudi Arabia
Understandably.
back there, right?
Yeah.
So
We're-
you
this
were
is off
assigned.
limits.
You were assigned a driver. You got a driver, and now here's the other thing.
Figured it out.
You've got people in Saudi Arabia, for example, as one example, who came from Bangladesh, who came from Pakistan, who came from all these different countries. looking
Bangladesh
for
and
work,
Pakistan.
Philippines. So so these companies would hire those people to work in your house. So it was not uncommon to be somebody whose dad was a mid-level banker, but you'd have a chef. You could, if you
Yeah.
wanted. You could have a nanny, and you could have a driver.
Yep.
Because you couldn't drive.
It's a
So-
different game over there, man.
Yes. So now you're living like a prince. So then I can't go
You
to
were
school.
delusional as to how the world was going to be.
Well, here's the difference, though. I also grew up in those countries, and they were very poor. The 70s, if you look at Pakistan, you look at those countries. I would travel to Yemen, communist China, communist Russia. I was exposed to a world of have-nots. I was exposed to the world that had been on the losing side of history. So when you go to Africa, which I'd been to twice, Turkey, those places, but especially Africa, I saw real starvation.
Yeah.
Real starvation.
What parts of
And
Africa?
I was in a Kenya, Tanzania. I was also in a van behind glass, air conditioned with a full stomach.
Right.
You see kids, the humiliation of a human being like this at your window with sunken cheeks.
Yeah, there's
It's very high. Well, the biggest thing that happened to me, because I'm an empath, is I go,
Yeah.
number one, I know I didn't deserve where I am. Number two, you're full of shame and
Luck of the
stress.
draw.
It gave me, I wet my bed till I was 13. I know it's embarrassing, but it's true. I was a neurotic because of that.
Now I
I'm
feel
telling-
bad for yelling at my ex for her kid at 10 went in the bed.
Bro, for me, I was
13.
I was such a
yeah,
mess
but
over
that kid
it.
wasn't struggling.
Yeah. Well, but that's a weird thing when you don't deserve it and you're seeing people like that. And so the biggest obstacle for me for my whole life still is having a lot.
Yeah.
I like being almost.
Yeah.
I like people say, well, you got to do this, that, and the other thing, and you could be huge. Whenever I would hear that, I would
Yeah.
panic. I don't like.
No,
I
you're
feel
good.
guilty. You're the same way.
Yeah.
You're the same way. I don't know why. I know you're the same
know
way.
I am.
You're fucking. Your mom was like, "Let me buy you a house." You're like, eh. Your mom was talking. Your mom's like, Mike doesn't want literally anything.
Nothing.
But I'm the same way. I don't like ambition. I don't want to take things.
Yeah.
If you gave me $1 billion, crisis, I'd be giving it away.
I
Yeah.
want all of it.
Now you do.
I want all of it. Give me
Long
$1 billion.
Beach.
So what do you do if
Yeah.
I give you $1 billion?
$1 billion?
Or let's just say enough money so you don't have to worry. What's the first thing you do?
I buy my mom, I fix my mom's house up
Yeah.
because she likes where she lives. And then I would just do stand-up all the time and not have to worry about.
So nothing would change.
No, I would do clubs. Wouldn't have to worry about like the ticket sales or anything like that. Just do what I love.
Yeah.
Do
nothing
what
would
I'm the
change.
best at.
Nothing would change.
No, it would change because now
Different
I'm
car,
still.
different house, what?
Oh yeah, different car. I'm driving. My car's pretty dope. It's a 2013 Kia Optima.
What?
Yeah,
An Optima?
yeah, 2013. Hey
Sounds
guys,
amazing.
You ever
200
open her up or no?
can't.
Oh, you can't.
220,000 miles. 220,000 miles, and she's still a rocket.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Yeah, dude.
Congrats. That's amazing.
How about you,
I-
Mike? What do you drive?
Almost all of my
Q5
windows roll down. By the way.
Audi truck
Oh, dude.
that I blew the engine on.
All right. Because you got the money.
Yeah,
You're doing
I mean,
movies.
Yeah, I'm doing good.
What's this
I'm
movie?
fine.
What's
is
the
that
movie about to
like?
come out?
This movie coming out is called Stealing Jokes. It's an action comedy. It's Ocean's 11 for comedians. They go on the road. They become bandits. They get screwed over at the comedy club. They rob the comedy club. Michael Rappaport turns out to be the gangster owner of the club. They got to get him his money back. How do they get it back? There's a YouTube dude that stole a joke like Callen, became huge, and they got to bring down the whale. So they take down like a big-time YouTube comic. They take his, they rob his venue.
Wow.
So
You
it's
wrote and
like-
directed this.
Who's in it?
I wrote and
Rappaport.
directed. Yeah, I wrote and directed it. Michael Rappaport, Sebastian's in it. Jeff Dye's in it.
Love Jeff.
Haha Davis, super dope indie cast. And it's just an idea that I had. I had this idea for a long time because I remember like I go open for you, right? All right, open. And then like I'd go do 14 shows and open for Chappelle. And I remember sitting in a doorway one time and I start counting up the heads in the place. I'm doing the math. I'm like, they're freaking paying me like $500 for a weekend. So I'm like, there's got to be 70,000 in a safe in this building.
Yeah.
So I always thought like, we don't ever get our due. What if we rob this place?
Yep.
So from that thought, I went and wrote the script. I pitched it to the some finance guys. They bought it. We made it. We shot it in Detroit and LA, and it's in the can now. And it's
You've opened for the greats, man. Rogan, Chappelle.
Yeah, man. I have been blessed to open for a lot of great people. Yeah, so I've been with Saget for 10 years.
Damn,
Joe was the first one that took me on the road.
Yeah.
Rogan.
Saget.
Yeah,
Wow.
10 years with Saget.
Saget is my favorite. Like, he was the funniest motherfucker. Like, so paranoid of COVID. I saw him a week before he died.
Yep.
We were on a plane. I was sitting in row 8. He was sitting in row 1.
Yep.
And I went to the bathroom. I go, Bob, my mask kept coming down. He's like, fucking. And he goes, that guy just farted in my mouth. There was a guy there. He goes, that guy farted in my mouth. And I can taste it through my mask. So that's all he was talking about. And then he goes, where are you sitting? And I go, I'm in row 8. He goes, row 8? I go, yeah. He goes, coach? And I go, yeah, I couldn't get before he goes, oh, then I won.
Bob was the quickest.
I can't remember what gig it was that I did, and I was there like a week or two after Bob, and the hotel that we were staying on, they're like, yeah, Bob would not stay in this hotel because he thought it was haunted.
I mean, Bob was a character. He took care. It was 10 years on the road with him. Quick as can be. Loved being Bob. You know what I mean? He just loved being Bob. I always tell the story how Bob would like walk fast through a lobby even if nobody was approaching him. You know what I mean? He'd walk fast as if they were going to come after him. You know what I mean? As if the paparazzi. I'm like, Bob, slow down, man. No one's coming to you, right? Like no one sees us. He's like, we got to go. Bob,
I just watched his Dangerfield appearance on YouTube.
Yeah,
that's
where I knew him.
When he was like 12.
Yeah.
What do they know what he died from?
Yeah, he hit his head. He slipped, fell, fractured his skull somewhere between 3:30 in the morning and then
went back to bed.
Went back to bed and bled out internally. He had a fracture that he woke up with a black eye. The fracture was so hard that his eye went black and blue. And
did he wake up and then he died after that?
They don't know if he got to bed somehow. So they don't know if he hit his head in the bathroom or they don't know if he hit it on the bedboard. Like, Bob was so lumbering.
Yeah.
He wasn't like, Bob wasn't like a graceful athlete.
No.
He was lumbering.
Yeah.
And so it was just a freaking accident.
It must have been terrible for you, dude. You must have been like, because you guys were close.
He was one of my best friends. I mean, I could say Bob was my best freaking friend. I talked to him every day. I was on the road every week with him for 10 years. He was in two of my movies. We worked together all the time. Dude, and he was my brother, man.
Dude.
He was my brother. It was devastating.
What a wonderful guy he was.
He was.
And he's got kids too, right?
3 kids, yeah. 3 girls,
How are
3
they doing?
daughters. They're doing okay.
Yeah.
It's been 2 years now.
They must miss the shit out of their dad.
Do you keep in touch with his family?
Oh, yeah. I had dinner with his wife. I talked to his daughters yesterday. Yeah, I keep in touch with everybody. It was heavy.
Like losing somebody like that who's that funny,
who's that
awesome.
Powerful of a voice. Like you lose people, but Bob had like this presence that was so heavy that like I hear him all the time. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like right now I could hear him. He's like, of course I saw Callen. He was in row 8. You know what I mean?
It's hilarious.
He could have come up and talked to me.
He never didn't make me laugh. Like you could say Bob Saget, like just off the cuff. First of all, great comic.
Off the cuff.
Fucking great comic.
Yes.
But just nobody funnier, like nobody faster.
And that's why, I always told him, because he would be down on himself once in a while and be, we need to sell 80 more tickets in West Palm. It's like, Bob, we're going to sell the tickets. You always sell the tickets. Right. You stay neurotic and nervous. It's fine. But like,
that's part of what made him hilarious.
He would always be worried,
This is my impression of Bob. Every time you see me, he go like this. He go, you have abs, huh? Like super insecure. Like, Bob, you're better looking than I am. You're taller than I am. What the fuck are you talking about? He's like, nah, I know. I just gotta. Or he'd come off stage and crush and be like, wasn't that good? I go, what do you mean it wasn't that good? Yeah. You're unbelievable all the time.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
You'll dig this. So like a week before he passes, he's like, we got to sell 80 more tickets somewhere in like West Palm Beach. And I'm like, Bob, put me on the poster. I go, put me on the poster, please. I got relatives there. I'll make sure we sell our, please, for once, put me on the poster. He's so neurotic. He's like, Chris Rock would never put you on a poster. Bill Burr would never put you on a poster. I know Seinfeld would never put his opener. I go, so I'm just fucking with him because I knew I could get to him. If so I'm like, I saw Jerry put Mario Joyner on a poster one time. He's like, show me that poster. I go, no. So long story short, Bob was like, I can't talk about this anymore. And so 45 minutes later, I get a picture on my phone. Bob had went and made a poster of me, huge, him, tiny, in a corner. He's in the corner, and it's the opener tour featuring Bob Saget in the corner.
That's amazing.
It's the funniest. I'll find it for you, but it's the freaking funniest thing.
I want to put that up.
It is the funniest thing you've ever seen. And I'm like, Bob, I text him, this is the funniest shit ever. He's like, yeah, I know. It took me 2 hours. Because Bob was so fucking erotic. He would stay on the phone until he got it perfect.
He's amazing.
He was.
I miss that dude, man.
I miss him every day.
Yeah. Fuck.
He was. I always told him because he was friends with Norman Lear and all these top, these giants in the comedy world, and he never could understand why they loved him so much. But just like you said, he was so quick and sharp. Yeah. They knew he had the mind of a brilliant comedian.
Yeah, he was also deep.
Very
he's
deep.
also a guy who could really talk to you about what mattered.
One of the greatest texters I ever met in my life.
Really?
Like if I have a problem, if I'm dating someone, I got to think about what to say. I always go, what would Bob say? He was the most calm, badass fucking texter.
Funny.
He was just
funny on 6 levels.
Yes. He was real, man.
Yeah.
He was real.
Yeah, man.
He was a real one, man. He was friends with all the greats, and they respected him. And
who are do you guys have a favorite comic? Comics? Besides
Legends are working now, or what do you mean?
Doesn't matter.
Pryor. I'm a Pryor guy.
I've
I
always
listened to all the albums.
Yeah, I'm a Pryor guy. I just Louis Anderson, early Louis Anderson, to me was because it's kind of like same stuff I talk about, family and this and that. Mm-hmm. He was to me, and I'd forgotten because there's so many people coming up, and then but I had forgotten. So when I was on that deep dive of old school stand-up and I was watching Bob's old, I found Louis' Hour.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, my God, this was one of my favorites when I was a kid.
Wow. Yeah.
This is my Bonneville. That's my family over there. More proud of the car than the family, and the way he talked like his dad, and the way he just fucked with his baby brother. And the guy.
I didn't see that. I want to see that. What's that album called?
I don't know. It's on YouTube. If you just look up his special.
That's a great rabbit hole to go down.
Oh, my God. It's
a great rabbit hole to go
any comedian that can get you with a facial expression. No words, just a face.
Jim Carrey.
Bro, Jim Carrey, Louis Anderson. Jamie Foxx was that way.
Oh, yeah.
When I was a kid.
So talented.
When I was a kid in Long Beach, there was a room in Long Beach when I was a kid. It was called Birdland West. It was after the Birdland in New York.
Yeah.
And every Thursday night they had comedy. And I was under 18 at the time, but they let us in as kids to watch comedy. Every week the lineup was T.K. Kirkland hosting.
Oh, wow.
Damon Wayans, Martin Lawrence, David Alan Grier, Jamie Foxx.
Wow.
Sometimes Robert, and when they were not famous.
Yeah.
They were just in Long Beach at a room working shit out. Everybody murdered. Jamie would always go on last, and he would go on stage and he would make a fucking face.
Oh yeah, genius.
And the place would fall out.
Yes.
And I love that kind of comedy because it's the thing where I say where you're either a funny person or you say funny things.
Yeah.
I like to think I'm a funny person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's when I watched that Louis special, I was like, I completely forgot about it. He takes you in. He paints the picture. Yeah. All of a sudden, you're in the station wagon with his fan. That's like Richard
Jason,
Pryor.
You're like I think you're one as far as you love to play and you love to improvise and you.
Well, I write on stage.
You've had an influence on a lot of younger comics. People don't know you have a lot of, and including some famous ones. We won't go into it, but you have. You know this, but a big influence. But people don't. You're like you and Mike are like the funniest guys people don't know.
Right.
And that's just the way it is with comedy sometimes, man. It's like, there's a lot of reasons, but part of what makes you funny also makes you less ambitious. You're like more interested in being funny, and it's hard for you to see. There are some guys that treat comedy. Somebody said this about me too, but I'm not as bad at it and agree. But they would say you treat your comedy like a passion when you should treat it like a business. Yeah. And you got to be a business minded about it, and I ain't. It goes back to this, and I don't think you.
It's
guys
like that old comic Gary Mule Deer.
I don't remember.
Gary Mule Deer.
I remember him. Yeah.
This guy could have been huge, but he was so happy just being on the road and doing these one-nighters and you know.
Dude, if I'm sitting around thinking about writing and coming up with ideas that surprise me like I did this morning, I'm the happiest motherfucker on the planet. If I have to sit around and now figure out how to leverage social media to amplify my message, it's like somebody put me in wet cement. I can't move. I'm like, I can't do anything right now. I can't move
our
around.
generation,
I lose all the energy.
We didn't have that when we first started stand-up. We barely had MySpace. But
We didn't have the internet, Bo.
We didn't have anything.
Nothing.
We had our act. That's what we had. We had our act, and that was the proving ground. You get on stage, you're funny, boom.
And nobody made more than $3,000 a weekend. I remember when my friend made $10,000 a weekend. He was making $10,000 because he'd been on TV at Zach Galifianakis. He was making it at colleges, and he looked at me and he went like this. He goes, $10,000, and I went, $10,000 fucking dollars.
Oh yeah, I remember the first time Chris told me he made that.
Yeah,
at a club that paid me $400. Yeah, and I'm like, are we talking about the same place?
Yes.
It was just like, oh wow.
When ticket sales now, now you got guys like Bert Kreischer and things who are making $600,000-700,000 a weekend.
Sebastian.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sebastian making.
Do you remember I had the Young American Comedy Tour? Does that ring a bell to you?
Yes.
So that was literally me on the patio, hearing about the kings of comedy making millions, looking at Sebastian, Brett Ernst, Bobby Lee, and saying to myself, yeah, we're not famous and like we're not 16 million funny, but we got to be 500,000 funny here.
Hell yeah.
I put that together with Kreischer was on it, Sebastian was on it, everybody came in and out of it.
Yeah.
My point was, I remember going to the Improvs with like a list of everyone who was going to be on this tour, and I went to Aaron at the Improv. I'm like, hey, this is the tour. It's called the Young American Comedy Tour. Could you give us some dates? I don't know anything about touring, nothing about anything. She gives me 10 dates. It ends up running for like 3 years. She gives me like a budget of what they're going to pay us. So she pays me, and I just split the money evenly. But I remember while Kreischer's on our tour, he was like the first one to go off and start headlining on his own. And I remember him telling me what he was getting to headline on his own. It was the same that I was paying him.
Yep.
Like it wasn't some crazy number then. It was like $1,800.
And this was before social media, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, when you just had to have a good
and guys like
product.
Kreischer who have a work ethic were like, oh, I'm going to treat this like a business as well, and turned his party lifestyle in comedy and everything. He's a great fuck. I love that guy.
Yeah.
But basically,
Van Wilder's based on him, right?
I'm sorry?
That
Van Wilder, yeah.
That Ryan Reynolds movie, Van Wilder, that's based on Bert.
I don't know.
Yeah, he's Van Wilder.
Really?
Yeah.
He's the party animal of Florida State.
Nobody like him.
Yeah.
And,
but I met his family. Bert's from a normal, you couldn't get more normal and nice than his parents.
He's a great guy.
Yeah.
He hasn't changed.
Yeah.
He hasn't changed. Some people change, but he hasn't changed.
Yeah.
He takes his shirt off now, though. Did you guys know that?
By the way, though, he's lost a lot of weight.
Did you see?
He's strong.
A couple weeks
Kreischer
ago?
could hit the ball. Bro, we used to play baseball.
Oh, my God.
Kreischer could hit the ball like a minor
There's
league
an
ball
athlete
player.
under that body.
100%.
There's an athlete behind that body.
100%.
Strong as shit.
Did you guys see what happened at the Improv a couple weeks ago?
No.
With Bert Kreischer and taking his shirt off, and then Natasha Leggero following him.
Yes.
Yes, that was pretty genius.
Yes.
I was on that show.
You were.
Yep. It went.
Wow.
Bert took his shirt off. Natasha took it off, like titties out. I have video. Then after
I'm not gonna watch.
After her, Tiffany Haddish goes up, takes her shirt off, bra stays on, and then I had to follow those three.
Oh, I didn't even know Tiffany Haddish was there.
Yeah, she was on after Natasha.
I took my shirt
That's
off
a
on that show
banging
too.
show.
I came on later, and they didn't hear anything I said, which was crazy.
Yeah.
The show was over after me. I was the last
But
comic.
then I did a private one.
For who?
What's
Staff?
that? Huh?
Staff. It was staff only.
Because there's a
Where's this?
small
It's the master class.
VIP.
I teach a master class.
You teach. Why are you holding your head?
In flexing?
That's a sign of lying. I don't know if you know that.
By the way,
Yeah.
let it be known, Callen, before we ever did My Man is a Loser, do you remember me in Miami telling you, I go, Bryan, listen, I have this movie. You're the funniest person I know in regular life.
Yeah.
I go, you don't even have to think about anything. Could I just write this thing for you? And I remember Brian's like, what are you talking about? You don't have a movie. You're not making a movie. Everybody says they're making a movie. I'm like, no, I'm telling you, I have this script.
I never listened.
And you're perfect for this part because you are the freaking.
I had a great time doing
You
it.
were the funniest freaking. I mean, Callen, there's no one living room funnier. It's called My Man is a Loser on Lionsgate. It's on Stars right now.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Well, you ever read the Brothers Karamazov?
I'm not a big reader.
Okay.
Not anymore. I
the
stopped
comedy-
reading
it's
after
the
it
comedy
started
version
stand
of
up.
that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Here's why. I read a lot
Yeah.
before comedy, but I did it because I was very stressed out and anxious and all this. But reading would help me go to sleep. But then when I started stand up, I'm out late. And by the time I get home, I would read a page, I'm out.
Yeah.
So no, I'm
Brian's
not a very
an
well-read
It's
guy.
Brian's a
excuse me,
voracious reader.
illiterate.
I'm not illiterate. I can
All right,
read.
bro, you know what
I
I'm
just
saying.
read the dictionary the other day.
What?
So I know every word.
Oh man, that's so crazy, dude. Congratulations. My
Thanks,
dad
man.
is one of those guys where he knows every fucking word. And my sister
my
and I
dad
were
was that
going
way.
through the dictionary to find words he didn't know. And he knew the words. And then we started making words up. And my father would go, "It's not a word."
Oh,
I was
we
like,
would play.
Yeah, so your dad's
we would
brilliant.
play Trivial Pursuit, and we would hate it when my dad played because he would always win. He knew every answer to every question, and then he goes, "I don't want to play it. I'm tired." So we'd be playing, and he'd be answering the questions from the other room.
Wow.
He would go to the library Friday night after he got off work, and he would rent like 4 books, have read all of them by Monday, return them. He was the guy that would do the
my dad
LA
wrote
Times.
Those. My dad wrote those.
Your dad's
books.
wrote those books. I mean, he would do
I
the
don't
LA
need to-
Times
I don't-
crossword in ink.
My dad burned
Ink.
those books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a smart dude.
My dad beat your dad up.
Well, my dad was a 5th degree black belt when he passed away.
Fuck.
Oh, was you a karate? Were you a karate family?
Yeah. Well, my dad put me and my brother in it when we were kids because we were getting in a lot of fights and stuff.
Why is that not a TV show, bro?
I know. And then when I was
Yeah, I think it's
about
called Cobra Kai.
when I was a brown belt and about to kind of start training for my black belt, he had because my dad was always in great shape. Like you guys, my dad was built almost like you. Good shape. You're like
You said
better
great.
shape,
You said
more like
great.
me.
great shape.
You said great.
You're like a Pringles can.
I move quick.
Yeah, solid. And then he got a desk job, and for 10 years he just sat behind a desk and got out of shape. So when I was like a brown belt, he said, "You know, I'm gonna get into this class just to get back in shape." But then of course he like excelled at it, and then we ended up opening a school. My first school I opened when I was 21 in '92 in Long Beach.
Nice.
And then by the time I retired from that at 41, me and my brother had 7 schools under us.
Damn.
Yeah, it was like a franchise.
What was the
thing.
main thing you did?
Kempo karate and Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Because I got into Brazilian jiu-jitsu in '93 after the first UFC. Hoist Gracie was my
So
original
if
instructor.
it goes to the ground, you're gonna be okay.
I'm gonna be okay. In a street fight, maybe not. Here's my thing. Jiu-jitsu is a good one-on-one sport. But if you're in a street fight and this guy's got friends, stay on
Yeah,
your
but I'm
stay on your
57.
feet.
I'm not getting in street fights.
Hell no, I'm
Like,
shooting.
Bro.
Yes.
Or I have this
Get
joke
that out.
about it. I also have this joke when
hiring.
you're young, you're gonna go. You just. But
Dude.
when you're older, you have perspective. It's like you're not mad at me. You're mad at the world.
Right. And nothing hurts your feelings.
No.
I'm too old to be embarrassed.
Also, I think
I'm
I'm
gonna
a piece
walk
of
away.
Shit. Right. You're
Yeah.
gonna call me a piece of shit. Like you think I haven't. Like
Yo,
whoever,
that's not
whatever
the
you can
worst
say.
I've been called.
Yeah, you should hear how I talk to myself.
You should hear the things my dad said to me.
I never liked going to the ground. You know, when I toured with Joe, we would go to every gym in every city. This is like right when Joe was starting UFC. It was getting huge. He's like, I would do this for free. He was killing it. But we met all those fighters, and every gym, I would just be hitting the heavy bag and skipping rope.
Yeah.
I remember Joe was like, "Come on, bro, you gotta roll." Yeah. I never rolled, not one time. I didn't go on the mat.
That's how
Eddie
you either have
Bravo.
that temperament or you don't.
I don't have the roll temperament. I don't like being.
I
on the
remember when
ground.
Eddie
loved
Bravo
it.
was a brown belt, and Joe was telling me I work out with his brown belt, and it's weird. I get tapped, but I'm stronger. And like a long time.
Oh, that guy.
Eddie,
I watched Eddie. Yeah, he would tour with us a lot, and I saw him tap dudes out in all the gyms everywhere.
Yeah, you don't even know what he's doing. It's too
Yeah.
late. You're like, what's going on?
Yeah, no, he was like a little spider monkey. He was freakishly, weirdly strong.
I still train a little bit just because like, it's good to know what to do. If somebody grabs you in a headlock or
Yeah.
Yeah,
Where
But
do
like
you
your
train?
dad put you in you guys got put into karate.
Yeah.
I got we were in Detroit, so my dad put us into boxing. And Emmanuel Stewart, who was the great
Yeah.
boxing trainer of Kronk Boxing.
Yes.
So my dad was good friends with
I
Emmanuel.
had dinner with him.
Wow.
Yeah, he was
Let
an
him tell his
amazing
story.
Sorry.
He was a beautiful person. I mean, he had the greatest story you ever heard. Legend in the boxing game. Tommy Hearns is of the world. He ended up training Holyfield, Tyson Fury late in his, early in his career. Long story short, my dad put us in boxing at this athletic club in Detroit, and Emmanuel had the Kronk fighters come in, and so we started training in a racquetball court. Wow. So it'd be like 6 kids and like the Kronk, 3 of the Kronk teams.
Wasn't James Toney out of there?
No, he actually didn't fight Kronk. His trainer was Bill Miller, who was a legendary trainer. James was out of Ann Arbor, but he came and fought.
he was Michigan.
He was Michigan.
Right.
He would spar. He'd spar down at Kronk. I sparred with James Toney.
No.
One time.
Wow.
Yeah,
By
Jackie.
wait, hold on. By spar, you mean he moved around with you a little bit?
I was told that he was going to move around. He was going to fight Murky Sosa for a championship fight. I was built like Murky Sosa. I was 26, 7 years old at the time. And his trainer, Bill Miller, was like, yo, come move with James. Let him work his defense. He's not going to hit you, but you come at him and let him move.
It's so fucking cool.
So James
was he
Toney-
just rolling shit?
Bro, James Toney's mean.
Square.
He's mean.
Square.
He's not nice.
No.
He freaking, I got in the ring within 5 seconds. Bam. He lights up a jab on my mouth. I taste blood, but there is no blood. So I'm like, this blood's coming from my brain into my mouth. He starts snapping jabs off my mouth. First round. And I'm pissed. I'm looking at Bill Miller like, yo, why would you do this? You said he was just going to work his defense. And, you know, truth be told, we started to get loose a little bit, and James eased up on me because he knew me kind of from the gym, and he knew I wasn't a pro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I just moved with him. But I remember punching him in the head a few times when we started to get loose, and I'm like, this is a champion's head. This is a different type of head. This head weighs 70 pounds. Nothing I did was phasing him. He had that roll. He was the original roll defense. I could barely touch him, but I did get in the ring with James Toney. And the Kronk fighters,
Such a big deal.
I ended up going, when I got to college and I was still boxing, they opened up a Kronk West in Tucson, Arizona. So Emmanuel Stewart had a partner that was like Mexican, like a, you know, kind of cartel type of guy who just loved boxing. He opened up Kronk West. So I worked at Kronk West while I was going to college. It was awesome. I would go pick up Michael Moore, who ended up being heavyweight champion, while he was a light heavyweight lefty.
No shit.
I would go pick him up at the airport in a van. I'd drive.
Was he cool?
He was.
They're all touch and go.
Touch and go.
Yeah.
He was very serious. He wasn't
yeah.
like a jokey type. He was not jokey. But Vince Gonzalez, who was the gym owner, says to me one day, and I'm watching Michael Moore spar with the light heavyweights. He goes, "This guy's going to be heavyweight champion of the world one day." Meanwhile, he was only 178 pounds at the time.
Big. Yeah.
But he was so powerful. I had never seen a dude hit a heavy bag and bend it in half. He was bending the freaking heavy bag in half. And so I would work at 6 in the morning.
With hands, because I've seen people do it with a leg, but not a hand.
He was short, and he was short too.
Jeez.
All hands.
How tall was he? 5'11"?
5'11".
Yeah.
But he had this crazy strength that you're born with that's just like next level. Yeah. And so obviously he did become heavyweight champion of the world. But he would be there. John David Jackson would be there. Dennis Andres would be there. All these world champions were training there. Bro. My job was to like clean up the gym in the morning, you know, go pick up fighters from the airport, bring whatever, set the gym up, and then I would train for 2 hours, and then I go to class, and then I come back and train again from like 5 to 7. But Kronk was the legendary, you know, Kronk boxing. They probably 41 champions came out of there.
Yeah. When you get in front of an actual master and you feel that difference, like you said, a champ's head, and I'm like,
there's
it's inches.
World class.
It's inches. It's little.
But you could see, I got to see the difference between, you would see a guy in the gym who's like, oh, that's world class, and that's really, really, really good. Like I remember seeing this kid, Jose Salea, who was like, you know, making the Olympic trials, who was like amazing. But then you would see him in the ring with like a James Toney or a guy that was like, you know, or a Jesse Benavidez at the time. And you go, that's world class, and that's just excellent. Like this kid's going to have an amazing amateur career. He could even win a medal, but these guys are on another level. Like you see it. You know when you see it. You know, James Toney
you really
that.
do know when you see it too. It's
James had that, man.
I helped Hoist Gracie train for his second UFC appearance because he knew that I was, at the time, I was a 4th degree black belt in a stand-up style.
Yeah.
And it was after class. He says, "Hey man, can you stay for another hour?" But he said it with a really thick accent, so I had to go, "Can we get a translator?"
My friend, can you stay?
It's just a little bit, not time. Yes, that's what is it, Portuguese? Yes, a facheta boy. Just talk to me.
Very good. It's very good.
And he says, "Can you stay for?" I go, "Yeah." And they put gloves on me, and he said, "I'm gonna try to close the distance on you. Don't let me." And for and you know when it's your teacher, you kind of show that respect, but you're not realizing it's actually disrespect if you're not giving it your all.
Yeah.
So he stops and he goes, "Listen, dude, if you don't hit me, I'm gonna choke you out." I was like, "All right, I'm not letting you in." And during the training, I was punching Hoist Gracie in the face. Yeah. Kicking him in the stomach.
With the UFC
like
type
that.
gloves?
Like that. He figured my timing out, and I couldn't fucking touch him.
Yeah.
The timing, closing the distance, getting in, taking me down. Yeah. It was like, oh, this is the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not.
This is the difference.
You're not a competitive fighter.
It's a dance.
Not anymore.
comic.
No, I competed for my life on the streets.
What?
Yeah, dude.
Hold on.
Yeah, dude.
Long Beach legend.
Why are you looking
I
at
got
your
a
nails
PhD
right
because
now?
sometimes I get the scarring here.
Okay.
PhD in in street degree, man.
What are you doing right now? You look like
I
you're
got
super.
a little sore.
Man,
from,
you got
like,
itchy
beating
real
the
quick.
shit out of people.
What?
You don't know a fight until you've been in the basement of the Compton Indoor Swap Meet fighting for your jacket.
I don't know if you were in that.
I was in.
that
Me and my
jacket.
buddies. There was
Do you have a video?
the Compton Indoor Swap Meet. The car stereo had for some reason they had it in the basement, and we were down there, and I had a starter jacket on. You can understand the time.
I have one now.
Yeah,
A starter
and
jacket.
and
Lions.
these dudes came up and say, "Yo, break me out that jacket. Give me your jacket." And I'm like, "No."
Break me off that.
He's like, "Give me that jacket." He goes, "That's my jacket." I go, "That's not your jacket." I go, "It ain't your jacket." I said, "It's not your jacket until you're wearing it." And then and it was me and 3 of my buddies, and 5 of them
Yeah.
beat the shit out of us, but I kept my jacket on.
that's
They
so
did that to
funny.
me, and I pulled
Yeah.
out a pistol grip Uzi, and I shot it in the air, and they fucking scattered.
You keep a
Scattered.
pistol grip Uzi?
Yeah, well,
Where-
when I'm in those neighborhoods, and that always works, dude. The minute they go, let me break me off them sneakers or whatever. Yeah, all right. Yeah,
you're
it's
gonna
the
get-
gun I used in The Hangover 2. I was in that movie.
Let's just say, oh, it's a prop.
Huh?
Fake gun.
No, I used a real gun in that movie.
Yo, the jacket was the
thirsty?
thing.
Yeah, I'm
Detroit was
lying
that
of
way.
thirst. I mean, dying of thirst.
I'm lying.
They tried to get jackets in Detroit. That's so funny that you said
Starter
somebody tried to
jackets,
take your
man.
jacket. I remember watching
Jacket
one
and
of my
shoes.
boys who was an incredible street fighter. They tried to take his Max Julian jacket in Detroit. And they were throwing punches at him left and right, and he was just ducking and moving and dodging. I'm like, God, my boy's got great defense. Yeah. You know, and then we had to go into
An expensive jacket.
That's a big jacket. Yeah.
Being able to
We had to go back and hide in the school.
They called me the Cobra on the street because my head never stops moving. Play the video. Me street fighting.
Oh, bro.
What is
Hey,
that? What's
Dylan, what do you
that?
have
What's
for
that
us?
rodent that can beat the shit out of a cobra? What is that thing?
Mongoose.
Mongoose.
Fucking-
I'm a mongoose.
What's that rodent?
It's
I
a
was
rodent.
never
Is
It's
it?
a
By the way-
rodent. It's in the cat family.
Is
Who
it a
the
cat?
fuck brought him? It's a type. It's a raccoon. Same. It's in the family.
That's a rodent.
Look up whether a mongoose is in the cat family or the rodent family.
I believe Callen on this.
Sorry,
A
I'm
critter.
sorry.
It's a
Sorry
critter.
I came down on you.
It's all right, man. Friends?
Yeah, man.
All right, cool.
Jesus, your hand's strong.
Yeah, man. It's like a bunch of bananas. And you know what you used to say to me when we first met? You used to tell me I was cat. I told you it's a cat, dude. Feline.
Cat. It's in the cat.
You used to tell me I was barrel chested. You used to always say, "Damn, you're really barrel." What does that
Callen
even mean?
loves to say
I don't know. I just
barrel-chested.
like dumb things like that. Because my mother said, you don't have a barrel chest. She said that to me once. She goes, you know, your grandfather has a barrel chest. You weren't born with a barrel chest. I never forgot that. I was like, well,
I guess.
thanks for the insecurity. Now I want a barrel
See,
chest.
I was insecure about having a barrel chest. Like barrels are fat. Barrels are
Yeah,
not
my
in good
barrels are
shape.
big, and you know, I have more of a cat.
How did we
chest.
meet?
At the end of the day, we're just
Gay bar.
comedians.
There's a bathhouse called.
Is it the Russian one?
Yeah, we met just at the comedy store.
Yeah, probably through Jalea, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, I just remembered when we first met. Yo, we were on the back parking lot. Me and Chris were in the back parking lot of the store. You came out, and you and Chris had already been becoming buddies, and you farted. And I went, whoops. I know we didn't even know each other. And I just went, ooh, whoops. And then you were like, this fucking guy's saying whoops. And then you did it again. I was like, whoops, there's another one. And that's how we met.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you're like, this guy's a comedic genius.
That's
And
right. I
you were
didn't
like-
say that. God damn it, Jason!
you
Don't
were
ruin
like,
the story,
this guy
man.
can be my full-time writer. It
When
was
did
pretty
I say
cool.
that,
Yeah.
dude? I don't know if I said
Yeah,
that.
man.
Or he'll just take your bit.
Or that. Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah, I'll take it.
Cocaine, candles.
Dude,
Cocaine
I
candles,
mean,
baby. That's the new
never been
special.
a more egregious. I mean, I would have been so dead.
By the way, I love you for calling me. Mike, I got a question.
Yeah. Well, I
Do
did
you
that to
do a
Justin
bit?
McKinney. Justin McKinney. I did. I have a thing about a hornet in the car. Now, mine is different because it was
Wow.
based on
Those
a
are
true
two,
story.
both, by the way, real quick. Starting a business on cocaine, be in the car.
Yeah.
Brent Morin has both of those bits.
Really?
For sure he's got him.
Yeah.
He said, Brent's fucking hilarious. He said, Justin said, if you see a car on the highway with the window, like in the middle of the highway with the window, with the door open, it's me because there was a bumblebee in my car. And it's a great joke.
Well, Brent's isn't necessarily the bumblebee in the car. It's another thing. Somebody outside thought there was a bee in the car because he jumped out of it while it was.
But I called Justin. I actually talked to Justin. I was like, here's my bit. I want to make sure it's not. And he's like,
Same.
Yeah.
Spot on.
I said, and then so anyway, I'm a thief.
Felipe Esparza called me from the road once.
Oh, he's in the movie.
He goes, bro, I got to tell you something. I go, what's up? He goes, I did your bit last night.
I love him.
goes-
I love him.
But then here's what he said.
Felipe can get away with stealing anything,
Yeah.
and I'd be like, it's Felipe. He's
But he
all-
was so honest and cool about it. He goes, I said it was your bit at the end. I go, really? He goes, yeah, I said it's a Jason Collins bit.
I love Felipe. Yeah.
done that.
He's in stealing jokes. He came and did me a favor.
It's awesome.
For the day.
He's fucking great.
Yep.
Just so you know, for future reference, I'm a pretty decent actor.
I got you, Jay.
Okay,
So your
cool,
special is
I got
called
you.
George Lopez.
No, it's
Okay,
called.
I don't know.
It's called Ellen. God damn it! It's called. It's not me. It's you.
It's not me. It's you.
Not me. It's you. An hour of me just bitching about everybody else.
Oh, really?
And my kids, and marriage, and people at the airport, and all that stuff.
It's good. That's what happens as you get older.
See, that's why I don't get accused of stealing.
I never bitched a lot.
No,
I'm a.
me neither.
It's never been my act.
It's
I never
my
bitched.
thing. Have you have any kids?
No.
That's
not
why.
that I know.
I feel like
That's
you and I
why.
are very similar in a lot of ways.
Yes.
Am I wrong? I've heard
No.
people say that. Like your mother
He's
was
like
talking
the
about you,
younger
and I was
version.
Like, that's me.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like the
yeah.
younger version of you. Yeah.
Well, you know.
People said we looked alike.
Oh yeah.
Back in
you're,
the day.
you're my younger, better looking brother.
Yeah.
You guys both have hooded eyes.
Taller.
Yeah.
100%.
You might be Jewish and you don't know it.
100%. We could easily be brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your ethnicity?
Irish Italian.
Don't say it with such confidence. Jesus. Irish Italian.
Well, you know, I was hoping I'd be like Native American. Nothing. You look at me and it's like, oh, look, regular guy.
Have you done one of
Irish
those blood?
Italian. Yeah, I did all that. Fucking, I'm 51% Southern Italian, and there's like 3% Iberian. Who cares? And then the rest is like Northwest European, which is basically
white.
Irish. That's
Yeah.
white.
I'm white as they come.
White. But I
All
moved
white.
my hips. I got
Blue
crazy.
eyes.
But it said you have D1 hips.
I used to
And,
teach
yeah.
salsa dancing. I don't know if you guys know that.
What?
Yeah, I used to teach
What?
it. Hardcore, yeah.
I didn't know that.
I'd love to take salsa.
I sent myself through college doing salsa, not
Yeah,
teaching.
I taught it.
I know. I
I
compete.
have a Latin wife, and I had to keep up.
Oh, that's
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
fucking congratulations. My wife
I need a wife.
was a D1 cheerleader for 4 years. And if you want to talk about dancing, I can just watch her dance.
Can
She's
I?
also 34.
Can I
Bro,
what?
come
Good
on. That's
for
so
you.
inappropriate. I
Sorry.
know. 57 to
God
34.
bless you, bro.
Disgusting. For her, but for me, it's
Yeah.
very high.
Yeah, she's got the
Jackpot.
problem.
What?
Jackpot.
Yeah, yeah.
Can I see your dance though? You have any video?
Bro, come on. I mean, I do.
I have
but-
one.
Okay, just don't share it. It's only 40 minutes.
I only need two.
Were we going to do something? What'd you have for us?
We got to get out of here. He's got to go to Beverly Hills.
I got a 1 o'clock in Beverly Hills, Brian.
time is
There's
it?
a lot of traffic out there.
We just
It's
started.
12. What time is your thing?
1.
Yeah.
I think it's.
You'll make
I might have to wrap it up. I could let you guys talk all day.
You'll make it. You'll be good. You'll be good.
What do
All
you
right.
got going on? Can I come?
I got a meeting at 1.
Come
You
on,
wanna
dude.
come?
That's so inappropriate.
I don't know how the business works.
No, you
Come
can't
on.
come to a meeting.
This is a big management
Look,
company.
this was a huge waste of time, guys. And,
God damn it.
I love doing this.
Too.
Brian, I'll come back all the time. I
Bro,
love talking
let's
to you.
do this more. Like,
I miss you. I've been
I'm
begging
in.
you to come on your podcast for a year.
I know. And every time, but you're like me. You're like, hey, I'm in town for a day.
I'm in town for 2
We
days.
got booked. We had fucking, come on, man. You're always welcome.
Let's do a three-way.
Oh, shit.
Wonder Twin Powers
Yeah,
acting.
hand hump.
I
This has
appreciate
been
you.
Off Limits. Jason Collings. It's Not Me, It's You, which is the
On Amazon
special.
Prime.
You know,
On
I got a
Amazon Prime.
special too.
What is it?
Who the F is Mike Young?
There you go. Who the
see it?
Yeah.
It's on
And this,
Burrs
when
All
is this
Things
movie
Comedy.
coming out?
This movie will be out in the next 4 months
Okay,
called
'cause
Stealing Jokes.
When I talk about it on Off Limits, I mean, it's going to be insane. You've
can't
already sold
wait.
out.
Yeah. Thank you.
By the way, any
Stealing
dates to promote?
jokes.
Because I'm going to be at Bakersfield with Sam Tripoli. Anybody who's listening, Bakersfield at the Well, February 23rd. The Rec Room in Huntington Beach.
Well, I love that
I'll
room.
be there. Yeah, I'll be there. Never done it. I'll be there February 24th with Sam Tripoli. And then I'm in Louisville Comedy Club March 1 and 2. Come get us.